Alright guys, we're going to be starting another video on how to take these three apart. Not too much work. I wouldn't recommend it for most people, as these are kind of difficult to take apart and it's very easy to damage these. So if you care a whole lot about not breaking any tabs, I don't recommend it. So yeah, to start this off, you're going to need a number 1 and a number 0 Phillips. And then you're going to need a couple of flatheads and a little bucket to put your screws in. Alright, so grab your whiskey, grab your weird dog, and let's get rolling. So I'm going to start off with the easiest of the three, which is the dimmer button. It's not too hard, it's pretty complicated. It took me a couple hours to figure out how to take it apart the first time, because I'm an idiot. And now that I've done it, it takes about 30 seconds once you get these screws out. So there's these three screws, this part pops off, and then this whole button pack kind of just, this backer plate pops off, and then you have to shove the buttons through the front, and then this part that is typically blue will come out. So every single screw you see here. Alright, so you got 3 screws in that, and then this has a little tray on the back that just kind of pops loose. Second, so that pops loose. This front part does show, so you just kind of have to tilt it out, and the boost dog is smelling my stuff apparently. So taking this apart, pretty easy. There's these little tabs all around you have to pop. There's 4 of them, and then this piece slides up. So I'm going to get these tabs popped. The easiest way to do it is use your flatheads. There's a space right here, just pry up and then use your fingers and push, and that'll keep it separated as you pry the other ones apart. So once you get those pried loose, that just pops off. Put your circuit board to the side, and then you have to punch these 4 buttons out. There are 4 holes in the back. You don't really have to keep track of which one goes where, but they do go in this orientation. It's pretty obvious where they go back to once you put it back together. Make sure you use a punch and like a 4-ounce hammer or something light to pop these out. Do not use something pointy, otherwise you will end up with a puncture mark like right there where I have a little welt on this button permanently now. So I'm going to get these buttons popped out and I'll be right back. And now that you have your buttons out, all there's really left to do is there's some tabs you have to pry on. Focus. Right inside of there, you pry those outwards and then just push in, and that blue piece, which is on mine is red, but you can see it's blue down at the bottom, that just kind of pops out, and this is what it looks like from the inside. You have those 2 tabs, and yeah, that's ready for color change. So I'm going to put that over here and get set up to do these. Alright. So now, taking this radio apart, you're going to have 4 screws on the back, which are right here. And now, to take this apart, you have 4 little tabs you have to pop off along the side. And once you take those tabs off, it will pop open like so. And then now you have to take this out. That kind of just hangs out over there. Be careful not to break this. I believe this is your ambient air temp sensor. It is not going to be a fun time if it breaks. And then with prying this out, there are 4 little tabs. You can kind of see them there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. The vinyl sticking over them. But you have to pry those tabs as well as push on these 3 little things right here, these little T's. And then this little piece will pop straight out. And then once you have those 4 tabs popped loose, all you do is push on those little T's, give her a good old-fashioned shake, and shimmy this thing, because it is in there snug. And it will pop out. Like so. And I do apologize, it's not the T's. There are 3 little tabs down there that you have to pry off, but all 3 of mine are broken because of the last time we did this and I didn't know. So yeah. Alright. Now let me get this cleaned up. Put that aside for paint and or wrap. And now for the last and the most fun one. The radio and the start button. And just a quick note to you guys that are doing this, if you guys want to paint this housing as well, without the HVAC in it, you can pop the buttons out the same way as the lighting unit, and you can paint the housing whatever color you want as well. Alright, and for the next process, you're going to take your whiskey and you're going to drink it. And now that that's done, we get to start on this one. So, the best place to start on this one is to take the ignition switch out. There are 3 Phillips screws, which are right here. And then this, just grab. And there's your start button. I have seen some graphic overlays for these, or like some bezel rings or something if you want to do that kind of shit while you have it apart. Now's the time. And then to take off this first piece of trim, which is this first blue part, you have to take this tiny little Phillips out. It's a number 0. You have to make sure to use one of the flatter ones versus one of the pointier nosed ones. So you use the pointier nosed ones, it'll strip, and then you have to melt it out using either a soldering iron or a bigger Phillips to melt that hole big enough to push this out. And once you do that, there's these 2 tabs on the side that just pop out. And yeah, this first piece just kind of falls out afterwards. And then you kind of just get those 2 tabs popped, and then you can just take it out. There's that Phillips that is, for some reason, thread locked. Focus. And never mind, it's not going to focus. But yeah, I ended up using I have a power drill. I just put a Phillips bit in and I just spun it in there until it heated up enough to melt a hole through the plastic. So yeah, now I have this nice huge hole, but it's covered up. No one's ever going to see it, and I don't care. Alright, so now you have to take this apart. The first thing you do is you take the knobs off. So what you do is you just grab them and you pull on them. I've already had these off, so they're a lot easier. The first time it took me a couple of minutes and some brute force to get off. Make sure you don't twist or can't in any way, shape, or form. Pull off straight or you will break these off. Alright, and then flip your piece over. And take out every screw here, right there. There are 11 of these for some ungodly reason, and they're like unbelievably fucking tight for no reason. Alright, so you got 5 of these little tabs. You have 2 on the top, 3 on the bottom that you have to pop loose while jimmying this centerpiece out. And once you have those tabs apart, you kind of just push on the radio and it comes out. And you can put that to the side. And then getting this out is as simple as just putting your pry tool, a little screwdriver underneath each side of it, and just prying it up. And if you're not super careful, as you're prying this thing up, it will fly across the room and make your dog mad. Alright, and that's it. That's how you disassemble your gauge sets, or your button sets for these. Alright guys, well, the Boost Dog is wanting me to go to bed, and he says hello, and I will catch you guys up on the flip side.